Let's go to round number 7, Eric, where we've talked a ton about rookie running backs, how much we love them in a redraft, yet our first favorite value round by round at ESPN comes by way of you in the 7th round. Who you got?
Yeah, Kaleb Johnson once again donning the black and gold, this time for the Pittsburgh Steelers instead of his beloved Iowa Hawkeyes. Feels like a real smash selection here in the 7th round. He's a player that I will be targeting a lot on either my hero or zero running back build, because you're talking about a guy that steps into a backfield that has one of the highest total of vacated carries in all of the NFL, and is essentially, he's kind of like a hybrid between Najee Harris and Le'Veon Bell, right? He's got the size and the thumper mentality to break tackles and to eat a ton of volume like we saw with Najee, but he's actually a really fluid zone running system type of back, and that's exactly what Arthur Smith's like to run. You know, he peed down his leg in terms of his measurables at the combine, so I think that is what is dragging down his draft stock overall. But if you flip on the tape from when he was at Iowa, you see plenty of plays where he's pulling away from guys. There are games where he was clocked at 20, 21 miles per hour on GPS. His contact balance is really strong. His stiff arm is really strong. Like, he's much more of a fluid runner that just kind of makes those subtle little angular changes when he gets into the second level that allows him to break away those big runs. And he's thought of as more, again, as like a between the 20s type back. But honestly, I think he can catch a little bit more than we're giving him credit for as well. So we could be looking at a situation where, you know, he is one of the top running backs in terms of just opportunity and volume of carries and touches this year. And getting that type of player in the 7th round is phenomenal.
For round number 9, speaking of teams who like to run the ball, give me the starting running back for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that ran the ball the 4th most times last season, 31 times per game. Jaylen Warren going off the board at 99 overall. Again, this is 12 spots, a full round below his Fantasy Pros ECR. And while I do think that rookie Kaleb Johnson, as Eric alluded to, coming out of Iowa, is eventually going to take the larger share of at least the rushing attempts, I still think Warren could easily break his career best 149 carries. That's only 8.8 per game. So I think even if Warren can get to like 11 carries per game and still leave 16, 17 for Johnson, that he's looking at 187 carries if paced out for 17 games. That isn't too far behind the rushing opportunity that we saw from a guy like Austin Eckler once Melvin Gordon left the Chargers. And considering that Iowa's leading wide receiver only had 35 receptions, I really have no clue what kind of pass catcher Kaleb Johnson is. He could be really good. He could be mid. I'm not sure. But I do know one thing. The Aaron Rodgers is going to want the veteran that is one of the best pass blocking running backs in the league out there that he can trust to roll into war with. And honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to love Jaylen Warren's scrappy, undrafted mentality, kind of similar to that of Allen Lazard. And we've already seen that the Steelers are willing to let number 12 kind of have his way here. So not only is Johnson going ahead of Warren, which I'm okay with, but so are running backs I trust way less, like Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, both Giants running backs, Cam Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy. So I love getting Warren here on the edge of triple-digit picks. Eric, are you out on Warren because you're so in on Kaleb Johnson, or is this like, hey, I like both Steelers running backs where they're going for different reasons?
I guess I'm a little closer to the latter, right? I think they're both interesting. A lot of that has to do with just the volume that we've seen Arthur Smith feed to his running backs. And I think we're going to see them both get a decent amount of work overall. This is the only context where I would consider Jaylen Warren, where he's going a round and a half earlier. He is completely crossed off the board for me. I don't know in what world you're making a case that a guy getting 11 carries a game to his teammates 18 carries a game is the starting running back. But it's not a world that I live in, right? And it's certainly not a world that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers live in, right? This is a team that they had Jaylen Warren on their roster, available to be as big of a workhorse and bell cow as they saw fit. And they instead decided to go out and spend their only day 2 pick to bring in Kaleb Johnson, who is essentially a turnkey perfect fit for what their offensive coordinator is trying to do. So Sure, there may be weeks early on in the season where it's closer to an even split, but I tend to think we're going to see Jaylen Warren pretty quickly take a back seat, much more of a best ball target for me. I think he'll still have some of those explosive plays that we like to see out of him, but I think it's going to be hard to get week over week production from him.
I think he's the starter because I think he will be the starter all season, even if we're seeing Kaleb Johnson take more of the snaps. Like that's just like
you mean like he's going to be the guy that takes the first snap of the game?
Yes,
starter?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
How many fantasy points does that get you?
Hey, you get the run out song in Pittsburgh. You got people waving their terrible towel. Yeah,
he gets to carry the American flag with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, let's go.
We also aren't taking into account that Pittsburgh's going to be awful on offense this year, so none of them may be valuable at all.
Dude, you can't be much like more mid than they've been.
You can, and you will with a 42-year-old quarterback who doesn't want to be there.
Well, I think he wants to be there as much as Russell Wilson did last season. So I'm all right with it. It's again, I would rather have just punted the season as a Steelers fan, but hey, we'll rock and roll with the ayahuasca chief for 1 year.